And we are live. What up, players? Welcome to episode 132 of Player Life. It is Wednesday, the 16th of June here in Tokyo, Japan. Here for the Wednesday broadcast of Player Life. Hope you guys are well. Hope you're well indeed. Um, it is kind of like it's kind of the rainy season here in Tokyo. It's a little bit annoying. It's hot and humid, but it is what it is. Can't complain too much about the weather because you can't really change it. Um, Spark 55 in the house. What's good? What is up? Hope you're well. Um, yeah. Good day today. Did some work. Did a bit of a workout despite the rain. Still got out and you know it is what it is. So today I want to talk about the fact that there is very little return on investment when you are a nice guy. There really is. There's not much return on it. Spark 55 was good. Gabriel E was good. Hope you're well. Yeah. So, being nice doesn't really get you very far in this world, despite what all the media tells you. The whole blue pill narrative, the whole Disney fantasy. Just be a nice guy, step up and do the right thing. Be a good man. Grow up. All the stuff they throw at you, but when you do all that stuff, it'll get thrown back in your face. The sad reality is, the nicer you are to some people, the more likely they are to take advantage of you or throw it back in your face. Particularly in the dating world. Rishi in the house, what's good? Hope you're well. I tell guys to, for guys that start out with doing day game cold approach, a lot of guys want they kind of want some kind of framework because they kind of get lost. They're not used to making cold approaches, so they just want a rough idea of what to say. So I tell guys, you can do the CIQ technique: compliment, introduction, question. However, the compliment, sometimes, basically, when you make a cold approach, you just want to, all you're doing is breaking the ice. So it really doesn't matter what you say. There actually is no script. But if I don't wait for choosing signals from chicks. So when I make an approach, it's like anything could happen. It's like they might be into me, they might not be into me. But sometimes I know when I make when I compliment a girl, some girls, is particularly, it doesn't usually happen with Japanese girls, but sometimes I approach a girl in Japan and they appear to be Asian, they're Asian, but they'll be, when I hear them speak, they'll be American. Just a few days ago, I was in the park with a friend of mine, and we saw these two hot girls having a picnic, and we're just walking by, and I think Yair opened them. I can't remember what he said, but I just remember it went something like, I don't know what he said, but anyway, I said, I just asked the girl, "Where are you from?" I just said, "Where are you from?" I didn't open with a compliment, but she said, I'm Japanese. I said, "All right," but she answered in a very American accent. It was kind of fluent, and she had said some things to Yair, so I was like, I assumed she was a foreigner, so that's why I was asking her, where is she from? She says she's Japanese, and then I said, well, oh, your English is pretty good. And I wasn't even saying it to compliment her. I wasn't like, oh, strategically trying to compliment her, but it was actually, oh, your English pretty damn good. I mean, if you're Japanese, I mean, like in Japan, like the vast majority of Japanese people can't have a basic conversation with you. That's a fact. Like they just like can't answer simple questions. I mean, I I used to teach English. I still teach English, and you know, it's crazy. Like I ask people what day it is. Like sometimes high school students, I ask them, "What day is it? What day is it?" And they're like, December or June, 15th." And it's like, what day is it? DAY. Anyway, the level of English here is really bad. Like for a first world country, it's terribly bad. Anyway, so I was like, oh yeah, your English is pretty good. And she was like, your English is pretty good too. And I was like, in a really passive aggressive, like no need for, you know what I mean? Um, maybe she gets maybe people say that to her all the time. I don't know, but I don't know why she said she was she said she was Japanese. um and then I said, well, I mean, where did you did you do you live in Japan or did you live abroad? And she was like, actually, I grew up in America. And I was like, you just said you were Japanese. But anyway, I just stopped talking to her. Then I just like, even if it was a shit test, I was like, nah, I'm over it. I don't care. I don't want to deal with this. Like, this is annoying. I was like, I think Yair said wanted to continue talking to them. I was like, nah, I don't care. I'm not talking to these. Just like, you know, sometimes I'm just not in the mood. Sometimes you're just not going to be in the mood. But I was actually trying to be nice. I wasn't trying to. I actually wasn't even going to talk to them. I think I was walking and Yair opened them. But it's just an example of sometimes, being nice, can get it like thrown back in your face. I was like, I wasn't, honestly, they were hot. I mean, but I was like, not really. I wasn't going to open them. We were on our way somewhere. But, you know, being nice just got me, I just got passive aggressive from being nice. It's very true. It's just sometimes the nicer you are, the worse you'll be treated. Yeah, particularly with chicks, opening chicks. And hilarious thing is, the really clownish thing is, it tends to be the progressive. Well, it's always, particularly Western chicks. I would very rarely get that kind of passive aggressiveness from Japanese chicks. Japanese chicks, when you open them, they either like ignore you, or they're not very. When you open them, they're not very. They wouldn't be cheeky. They're not like, Japanese are passive aggressive in different ways, but not. I don't tend to get that kind of like, that kind of cheekiness, that kind of like aggressiveness when I open Japanese chicks. But it happens a lot with Western chicks, and you have to expect that. But it's and the more progressive a chick is, the more progressive she is, the more left leaning, the more passive aggressive, the more aggressive just she's going to be. And the nicer you are, the more she will like disrespect you. So you really, it's particularly with these progressive lefty chicks, you cannot be too nice to them. They will treat you like garbage. They will treat you like absolute shit the nicer you are to them. It's really, there's really not that much benefit in being super too nice to them. I think Rolo says, you don't have to be a jerk, but you have to harness the energy of a jerk. So, and it also, that thing kind of made me rethink, I'm in Japan, so I'm approaching game slightly differently. But that incident last week made me kind of rethink the CIQ technique, as I call it. Not it works. I mean, but I always tell guys, like, there is literally no script. You can literally say anything as long as you say, it really doesn't matter as long as within reason. Within reason. It's how you say it. But just you know sometimes um since I don't wait for choosing signals at all. Like, I mean, if a girl gives you a choosing signal and she's like smiling at you, and which fucking, you know honestly, that rarely happens, especially to me anyway. And I think I look pretty good. I mean, I'm not super cocky about my looks, but I try and look good, right? And I don't get that many choosing signals, right? um so if a girl gives me a choosing signal, and she's smiling, or whatever, she's like, flirting with me, and in that instance, you can roll up and do a compliment introduction question kind of thing. But if you're starting from like nothing, the girl mightn't have even seen you, you've spotted her, you want to approach, maybe you can say something else. Maybe you don't need to start with the compliment. Like, you can do it, but so it's only if sometimes you don't need to give out free compliments until you can maybe you can say something else before you compliment them instead of starting with a compliment. You can like test the waters first. Like, you can see if she's receptive before you compliment her. That could be another way you could do it, you know, instead of giving a free compliment when a girl's gonna like spite you for it. You know what I mean? Um, you don't necessarily need to give out a compliment, when you don't know how she's going to react. But in saying that, like, I always tell guys at the same time, it has to be like water off a duck's back. You have to like not get pissed off by how girls react to you, because at the end of the day, you're approaching them. I mean, that girl, the way the girl reacted to me, like, I just didn't want to talk to her. I didn't get pissed off by it. I was just like, oh, she sounds annoying. I don't really want to engage with her anymore. So I stopped. I just literally, I kind of was like, nah. I kind of just stopped talking to her. And that was just my particular vibe. It's just a turn off when I meet, those kind of like Western chicks that are like, there's not anything you say, there's going to be kind of like, an aggression behind it, and it's annoying. It's annoying as fuck. No matter what you say, it's just like, oh, she's probably being like, she's probably absorbed all of that since, she said I presume she was in America for a long time, so she probably thinks bad white guy, privileged white guy comes up talking to me, so I'm gonna be aggressive to her. I'm gonna be aggressive to him. I'm gonna like, oh my god, he's harassing me. And I was like, oh, whatever. I could just read into it immediately. That's one of the things about me, because like when you do game for a long, long time, when you've done a lot of approaches, you can really kind of sum up a girl kind of quickly. Um, you can kind of, even just from her accent, and just from the very limited engagement I had with her, I could kind of predict what was going down. Um, uh, Rishi says, you could have told her life must have been hard for you in America with that attitude. I could have, man, but I guess at the same time, I just wasn't in the mood for it. Like, I mean, it could have been a shit test. There's ways, I could have continued talking to her, and I could have broken through her hard shell, and maybe, something could have happened. But, you know, honestly, I just wasn't in the mood. I was like, just actually not in the mood that particular time. And that's fine. I mean, the same day we talked to like a bunch of other chicks, like so many, and I got so many contacts, like haven't gotten through half of them yet. But same day I got a contact and I got laid the next day. So, uh it's sometimes for me, I just have such an abundance mindset. It's like I don't need sometimes, I don't need to deal with these annoying chicks. Um, you know, but yeah, like I just got to reiterate, you know, if you don't like a girl's attitude when you approach her, you don't need to continue engaging with her. I just didn't like her attitude, so I was like, man, I'm not gonna. I literally just didn't. I didn't respond. I was like, man, okay, I'm just like, I kind of left it to Yair, and I was like, kind of waiting in the back. I just wasn't in the mood. I was like, nah, these like, this sounds annoying. She sounds real annoying. I'm not gonna deal with it. Um, you know, Thomas Shaju in the house was good. Uh, Rishi says, or life might have been hard for you in America as Japanese. Yeah, the thing, I didn't get enough information, so I don't know what I don't know how long she spent in America, but her accent it sounded like Californian. It sounded very American. She sounded like an American. She didn't sound Japanese at all. But yeah, it's just I've so many times have I been, in my life have I been cordial and a little bit, too nice to progressive type chicks in even it can be night game or whatever kind of situation, and it never tends to work out. Like, I never tend to get that much respect back from them. So over time I learned that there's not really any benefit to being too having etiquette and being too nice. They won't respect it. They won't respect it at all. Yeah, they just this is a bit of a side note, but I don't know why it popped into my head. But there's one thing I noticed about when you improve as a guy as well. When you improve as a man, you might say you might have been blue pill, you might have been a twerp, you might have been a weakling when you were a teenager or in your early 20s or whenever, or up until recently. And if you come across people that you grew up with as a teenager or in high school or wherever, and they've seen you change, you've become like maybe physically better, you dress better, you're more successful or whatever, you'll tend to like come across a lot, a lot of passive aggressiveness. People will be kind of like, particularly chicks, like, there's this idea that like, chicks will kind of want you if you become successful or if you become better. But in my experience, it's kind of like the opposite. It's kind of, and that's a good thing, because but it's actually kind of like the opposite. Like, these girls, or even guys that you grew up with, that can give you this passive aggressive vibe because you've changed, because you've gotten better, because you've grown up, you know. Um, but they'll remember you as something different, and you know, and they'll be like, "Oh, you can't be like this now. It's like you can't be like, you weren't like this before." So, you know, but I don't know. It just popped into my head there. Just but that's a good sign. That's funny. If chicks that you grew up with that wouldn't, when you were a teenager, maybe they were 18-year-old hotties, like, hot chicks back in the day, wouldn't have touched you, or gave you no respect, gave you no attention. You probably didn't deserve it because you were a twerp anyway. But you might have been a twerp. But then you grow up, you improve. Men age like wine if they want. Women age like milk, regardless, regardless if they want or not. They can do a little bit here and there to slow the process down, but in reality, they just are. Men are made, women just are. So you become better as a man as you grow older. Well, you have the possibility, you have the ability. But the reality is, women, they're different creatures. So their youth is their currency. Like it really is. Like their fertility, their youth. Like like a 21-year-old woman is at her peak, maybe even younger, maybe 20, maybe 19 in the West. It's not. They're not. They don't improve in the sexual marketplace when they're 30 years old. It's not like they're higher value like in the sexual marketplace. Um, they freak out when you say that. They freak out. But thing about Asian women is they're pretty based regarding that. Like they'll tend to admit it. Like it's so funny when you like the one thing I like about the Fresh and Fit podcast is they expose all these women freaking out when they're told simple truths. Like Asian women won't they won't really deny it. They'll be way less likely to deny it if they're faced with that fact. If you tell it, if you bring it up and you get it. Like I had a chat with I don't know how it came out. Usually I don't go into this kind of shit with chicks, but with the chick I smashed on Sunday, like a real hot 21-year-old Chinese chick, real hottie. Oh my god, sexy as fuck. But what did it come? Yeah, she was 21, so she was like, oh, like she said she liked guys in their 30s because they're like real men, or they can't like. She said she likes men, not boys. Like so, I was like, yeah, that's true. And then I said, I can't remember exactly what I said, but I was like, you're 21, so you have a lot of power. And she was like, well, when I'm 30, I'm going to have a lot of more power because I'm going to be more beautiful. Oh man, I was like, nah, not really. I'm sorry, that's not how it works. And she was like, oh, don't say that, don't say that. Oh my god, don't. Oh, you're so mean. And she was like slapping my shoulders and like, oh, don't say that. And I was like, I'm sorry, but it's true. But I was serious. That's but she was, and she knew too. And then she was like, oh, you're right, and she admitted it. And she was like, yeah, no, but I don't want it to be true. But and another interesting thing she said, so based, but she was spitting some like truths, just not even knowingly probably, but like just she said, and she was like, if I can't get married, I need to have a child, because well, Asian women are more based. They kind of like the idea of not having a child for them is like really traumatic, or it's like a really terrible thing. And to be honest, it's obvious, that's why there's so much mental illness in amongst Western women, because they've missed the baby boat. Like they've totally missed it, and it's traumatic, and it's like once the doors close, it's like eternal loneliness kind of thing. It's extremely traumatic, but they're not even allowed to say it because the society they live in doesn't allow them to say it. It's not acceptable in their little cool little progressive sphere, and it's like, oh, you don't need babies, they're not cool. And it's like, they go along with it, and they go into this severe spiral of depression. But no, Asian chicks will totally admit that they want to have kids. And like the tragic thing in Japan is like, even though like pretty much every girl you talk to would like admit to wanting to have children, but for some reason, because men have kind of opted out here for kind of different reasons. Japanese women are still very feminine, still very beautiful, but men kind of have become extremely feminized here, and they've kind of just opted out. They'd rather like play video games, and like, in the Western countries, men have become feminized and women have become very masculinized, and men are kind of dropping out because women have become super masculine and obnoxious and irritating, annoying, loud, like fucking head wreckers. A lot of them are, to be honest. So it's kind of different reasons. Like Japanese women are still super hot and feminine and all that. And they like, you talk to the average girl in their 20s, like, what's your dream? And it's like, I want to be a housewife, or I want to have kids eventually. I want to get married. And a lot of them can't, because there's like, there's too much soy here. There's just too much. Like Japanese guys just would rather, stay home and play video games. Winston, what's up? What's good? Hope you're well. Rishi says that's true. All my high school normies are snakes. Yeah, I yeah. I used to have Facebook. I deleted it a couple of months back. I used to log in just to see what the normies were up to, and it just became too unbearable. Like I actually had to. I just deleted my Facebook. I had to. I couldn't. I can't actually comprehend. It was too sickening to see these normies going on about getting, can't wait to get the vaccine, bro, and like, oh my god, and like, BLM, and like, oh my god, I was just like, oh man, I had to delete it. I was like, this is a waste of time. Like, it's a waste of time going on here to get like outraged by normies that I grew up with. It was too annoying. It was just too much. Like I couldn't handle it. I just couldn't. I was like, these fuckers. I would post stuff to get reactions out of them, and honestly, I just realized it was a waste of time. It was fun for a start. I would post some red pill material and trigger like so many people, and they couldn't handle it. Just basic facts, like people getting triggered by basic red pill shit, and they would like freak out and like, oh my god, you've gone too far. You've gone too far this time. You've gone right wing. What happened to you? What happened in Japan? Is everything all right? People just normies cannot handle like basic facts. Like, they're not able for it. They're just not able for it. Matt W says by 21,000 cocks there, beer, fupa, smoker's voice, and third year college majoring in underwater basket weaving. Yeah, I mean, Western women hit the wall hella fast, man. Real fast. Like, in reality, like, because of modern ways of living, modern medicine, and all just better standards of living, humans are living a lot longer. Back in the day, like a 30-year-old woman was like that's a granny, like that back in the day, 100 years ago, even, like 30-year-old chick, but 100 years is in terms of evolution, like the humans, like that's 100 years is nothing. Like not even a second. It's a tiny little blip. Like it's absolutely nothing. But humans have evolved over like hundreds of thousands, millions of years, and millions of years. We came to be modern humans. Like women were having babies a lot younger, like right up until very, very recently. Now it's only like 30 years old is like, so, back in the day, like a 21-year-old woman would be like, that's fully fledged. Like that's a woman that probably would have a few kids already, it's just this like, women are just kind of butthurt that they can't really. Honestly, to be quite honest, it's much better. It's just a much better deal to be a man. Like it's just women have all these, because it's such a better deal to be a man. Women are in today's society, women are given like so much, they're trying to make up for it by giving women they're trying to make women equal to men and give them all these extra special privileges because it's so much better to be a man. But it's actually bad for them because it's not actually helping them. They're not actually getting to live out, their natural the course they should actually live out. They're trying to live like men, and that's why they're so unhappy, and they're hitting the wall at 30 years old. They're so undesirable. They're used, they're jaded, they're used up, they're jaded. Like they're just not happy. They've been through all these dicks, and now no one wants them. because they've been through all the guys, the top tier guys who they've been told that they can have. You're a queen, yes, bitch, yes. Oh my god, yes, bitch. Like they've created all these you know, hordes of beta males, hordes and thousands of them, like endless amounts of them. Just like women have created these weaklings, these twerps, these absolute pussies that bend over backwards for them. But the women are just are so repulsed by them. That's what I mean about the nice thing. The women are repulsed by this nicety. So the nicer you are, they'll throw it back in your face. They'll slap you with it. White knighting and stuff. I told a story before about my friend who tried to jump in to help out some woman that got slapped by her boyfriend on a bus or something, and my friend almost ended up getting killed, and the woman as well started beating on him too. Wild shit, so ungrateful. Oh my god, like so terribly bad. Let me see. MCP in the house says too much soy indeed, like too much like low testosterone going around. Really bad stuff. Spark 55 says, well, in my school I know of no one besides myself and one friend who's willing to look at the truth. Yeah, I mean, just I look back and see what's going on in Western countries, and I do not like it. Do not like it at all. I mean, do not like. I don't want to be there. So I got to stay focused and make sure my visa doesn't. Make sure I continue to have a visa in Japan, because honestly, the thought of going back to Ireland really, I want to go back for a visit, but God, the idea of being stuck there or somehow not being able to leave because of apparently they're bringing in vaccine passports, and that's terrifying. Jesus Christ, holy shit! Imagine getting stuck there and not being able to get a vaccine. I don't want to. I'm not taking the vaccine, so how am I going? Imagine I went back and then they suddenly brought in the vaccine passport, and then I couldn't come back to Japan or whatever, or I lost my visa in Japan and then had to go back there, and then I wasn't able to leave. That'd be fucked up. That would be fucked. There's one thing I was right about that. I was back in when was it? Started 2020 it was, I guess. This whole thing started, and I was kind of on the fence about it, up until about late February, March. So I was pretty damn early to wake up to it, but I was just kind of skeptical. I was like, nah. I was like, I don't know, this could be real, because I was like watching the videos coming out from China, and I was like, God damn, this some crazy flu coming over. This looks pretty wild, because the propaganda was so heavy, man. Like the shit coming out of China, man, they went hardcore. They went fucking wild with their propaganda. Holy shit! But it was believable. Like it was all fake, but it was believable. All that fucking stuff going around the cities with all the disinfectants and shit. That was all fake shit. That was all like propaganda by the Chinese government to like freak the West out. So yeah, they kind of freaked me out a little bit too. And I remember having a talk with MLD, and I think it was March. It was probably around March or late February, March. He was like, dude, it's all bullshit. Like, dude, it's gonna blow over in a month or so. And I was like, dude, it's not gonna blow over. Like, they're going fully at it. And he was like, nah, dude, it's gonna blow over. And I was like, nah, man, they're not gonna have the Olympics. Like, they're definitely not. And he was like, dude, what you're tripping, man. Stop like watching that bullshit. So he was right about the fact that it's bullshit. But I was like, either way, they're going ahead with this propaganda and they're shutting shit down. And I was like, they're not going to have the Olympics are going to get canceled, because I could just see. So I was like, even if it's not true, like even if it's like not a real thing or whatever, they're going to pull this out. They're going ahead with this scheme or whatever. New World Order kind of thing. The psyop, they're going ahead with it, and I was like, it's gonna cause a load of bullshit. So I was right about that part at least. But then about then I started like waking up around end of March. But I was like, yeah, this is fucking garbage. But just when I started seeing all the experts come out, and then I started seeing them get censored, and I started seeing these extremely these acclaimed people, these scientists, virologists getting censored and getting doxxed and removed from the internet. I was like, holy shit, there's something really fucked up going on here. But anyway, let me share something. I was ranting about. Let me share this. Yeah, so this could be fake, but at the same time, even if it is fake, this is there's plenty of shit out there like this. I mean, this it does, even if it is fake, it doesn't matter, because anyway, let's read it. Curved him for 6 years. I've dated his best friend, his brother, his colleague at work, his dad, and even his sugar daddy at a time. I can't believe he still loves me this much. He saw something in me. Happily engaged. That's what happens when you're a nice guy. That's the kind of shit that happens to you when you're a nice guy. This is the kind of garbage that's going on in Western countries. Oh man. But what else we got? Let me see. This is another one. I actually do think this is fake, but it's funny. I think this is fake. But at the same time, like I said, even if it is fake,
so I choose.
Even if it is fake, there's there's definitely plenty of guys out there like this. So,
to allow my girlfriend to sleep with other men. That doesn't give you the right to call me a cuck. And this is a message for all the people out there using that hateful language. Why don't you try going a day in my shoes, where you are with someone you love very much and you want them to be able to express themselves physically and spiritually in a way that perhaps they can't do with just you. Now, personally, I would never sleep with another woman. I love my girlfriend very much, but I know that her needs require her to have the right to explore that territory. And if it means I have to sleep on the sofa a few days a week, then, so be it. Ultimately, our relationship means more to me than, my ego or my jealousy. So think about what you're saying when you use that word. So I choose to allow my girlfriend.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, it's funny. He does fit the bill of a cuck, but it just seems too ridiculous. I mean, like I said, there are guys out there definitely like that are like him, but I think that's actually a skit. I think he's actually making fun of cucks. Just it seemed like he was acting a bit, and it was just a little bit like, sleeping on the couch bed. He seemed like he was acting, but it's funny at the same time. Spark55 says, yo, YouTube is removing comments with the word cuck. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, YouTube likes to censor, that's for sure. MCP says, good rant, bro. Thank you. Let me see. Let me share this other one. This is old. This is an old one, but this is just to show the kind of weakness and like how pathetic so many Western men are. All right. Let's have a look at this.
Double one, go ahead. Go ahead, man. Put it on the speaker. There you go. Right here. Here it is, right here. There you go. Mr. White Man. Get these white women and get these white people a hand, man. Keep on coming. Keep on coming. Keep on coming, Mr. White Man. Keep on going. Keep on going, man. Most y'all ain't Christ, man. You understand? Now, they showing what it means to really salute a prophet and a priest of the Lord. Keep going. Keep going. The party out. Show y'all. Come on, folks, get your boot kissed, man. Get properly saluted. Get properly saluted, man. You do that, man. Get properly saluted. Everybody, come get properly saluted, man. This is a white couple right here that's proving that they are sorry for what their forefathers have done. That's right. You understand? Keep going, man. Keep it coming, man. Understand? Keep it coming. Only a couple more, two more. And Salaki, the cameraman, you can't forget. You can't forget Ayaz Zahab over here, a brilliant producer. You understand? I'm sorry, get in, man. What are these white people in here, man? What's your name? Skylar and Seth. Oh, man, his mother knew. Name him after one of the sons of Noah. You understand? Seth. You understand? Hey, man, no sweat. No sweat. Get these white people in here, man. Now, when Christ comes back and establishes his kingdom on the earth, you...
All right. Yeah, so, I mean, that's the state of things. You know, just pure weakness. Just pure weak men going around. And to be quite honest, the guy in the video probably he's probably literally the guy that was kissing the shoes. That couple he's probably a literal cuck. Like that's probably why they were doing it. I don't know. There's something up with the comments here. They're not showing up. But Know Your Worth in says my aunt has never left Europe until 1940s. I have nothing to do with black people. Yeah, I mean, you know, apologizing for your skin color is one of the most pathetic things you can do. Really is. But you know, it's just really, really dumb shit. Matt W says that's how riots start, where white people get seriously hurt and then blamed. Right fucking there. Yeah, that was a viral video. It was going around. But you know, the thing is, like, it's not. There's so many white people out there that are like that are that apologetic, you know, for stuff they had nothing to do. I mean, even in Ireland, there's guys like that in Ireland that go around apologizing for slavery and white privilege and stuff in Ireland. It's so bad. I mean, there's all the media in Ireland, like, you know, supporting that kind of shit. You know, just weak, just so weak. Like, such weakness. It's so sickening. Oh, it's, man. Ireland is one of the most tragic fucking places. It's like, I've said it many times before on the stream, but it's like all the qualities of you know, a democratic state, you know, a democratic run state, all that progressive shit, it all came to Ireland real fast. Yeah, so it's bad, man. It's bad. Same thing going on in Ireland, all that bullshit. But you know, it just you know, it when it comes to chicks, it boils down to you know, really not being that nice guy, not being the little twerp that's gonna bow down to all her everything, you know, trying to lick up to her and all that shit, because it's not gonna get you anywhere. She's just gonna think you're a weak pussy, and she's gonna go and bang Chad on the side, not on the side, she's just gonna bang Chad. You're gonna be like, these nice guys get left, like, they get left fighting for scraps, and if they're lucky, and I don't even consider it luck, they go and they get married to some chick, and, like, you know, they remain monogamous to some. Respect them more and more, the nicer they are. By the way, I can't. If you're writing comments, I can't see them because the comments section here on StreamYard has frozen. But it is what it is. Even it takes a lot of fucking takes a lot of tolerance and to be in a marriage with a Western woman. I tell you that much. I even saw it. To be honest, even in my household, my parents are still together. I even saw it in my household. I saw how, my parents are good people, but let me just tell you, I wouldn't have from what I saw, the way, my mother would sometimes treat my father. Oof, I would not have the tolerance for that. I would not. No way. Like, but and now it's like obviously way worse. Like it's like the women, the new generation of women are like, oh my god, they're a lot worse. So getting married to in this climate, oh man, I don't know about that. Like, not a good idea. I don't know why you would do it. But on the other hand, if you chat the fuck out and just like fucking, you can live the most pimp ass lifestyle, player lifestyle ever, man. You can just like kill it. You can like live a lifestyle that like all the previous generations of men, they couldn't really live like that. It was not really feasible. It wasn't really possible to live that kind of player lifestyle unless you're like celebrity or something. It's just rare though. Like, but living the way I live, that was difficult to do. Like, you needed to be like esteemed or like really, I don't know. I don't even know if guys could have done it. Even contraception and things like that. It's an exceptional time to live if you actually have game and you chat the fuck out and you understand the dynamics between men and women and what actually turns women on. When you actually know what they're really attracted to, not all this blue pill Disney shit, all this fucking garbage, all this fucking shit that they say they want and they actually don't want, and they actually just disrespect and shit on guys that actually give them that shit. God, when you understand what really gets a girl going, oh man, you can clean up like never before, like Genghis Khan shit. Like, just you can sleep with so many hot women and they'll love it. Like, they'll love it. If that's what you want to do, and I presume if you're watching this show, I presume that's what you want to do. And it's possible because I do it. It really is possible. Just even that Chinese girl on Sunday, I met her on Saturday night, when she was, I went for a walk with her, and even I was with my boy Yair, and honestly, we were trying to like bring her back and smash her in his place, but she wasn't down for it, and she said she had a plan. Apparently she had a plan, but she was with us for an hour, and while she was with us, I mean, I was very forward with her. Let's just say that, but she said to me, like. I grabbed her and I kind of kissed her. Like, I grabbed her face and kissed her. And she's like, oh my God. And I was like grabbing her ass. And she was like, oh my God, you're a savage. And like, she said it in such a way that like, she was so fucking turned on by it. And she was like, oh my God, if I didn't have a plan tonight, I would fuck you right here. Like, she said that. Yeah, it's just crazy. It's just like, it was I've already had enough red pills. It doesn't surprise me anymore. I know it all. Like, I understand it, but so many guys, like, if I wish I had a recording of that somehow. Like, if you could actually see that, it would blow so many minds. It was just, first of all, you couldn't put shit like that on YouTube. It's just like, we live in this fucking clown world where it's like, you can't like tell the truth like that. You can't show the truth of how girls actually are. like what actually turns them on. But it was like, it was it was a good time, but it was like, they don't like nice guys. They don't like these soft little bitches that are too afraid to hold their hand. Oh, if they drop my hand, Holy shit. I remember back when I was like, I think it was like 18 years old, going on my first not my first date, but I was on a date and I was afraid to touch her hand. Afraid to touch her hand, and obviously I didn't bang her. So because it was a guy that was afraid to touch her hand at that point. You know what I mean? I was blue pill as hell. I didn't understand women. I went to an all male high school. Um, by the way, again, I can't see your comments. This thing is frozen, but going to wrap up pretty soon anyway. But yeah, I mean, I was afraid to touch her hand. I was 18 in the cinema. I thought it was like too bold a move to touch her hand. And me, you know what I mean? This girl wanted to be probably smashed. Like she probably wanted to be taken out and roughly fucked. And I was just like such an innocent little bastard. I was innocent, dumb little shit. I was. I should probably do an episode on. I might have already done one, but do an episode on how I came. I think I done one, but I maybe go into more detail about it because I just didn't know how things worked back then. Did not know, but it really is. Yeah, you really do have to be alpha. You really do. The more alpha you are, the more confident you are, the more women are getting wet. Like the more they're into it. Women do not get turned on by weakness and slowness and like indecisiveness and like, I might get in trouble if I try and kiss you. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, forget it. Like they're just not. It doesn't turn them on. Like if they have to like tell you to be dominant, it's like it's not real. It's like fake. It's like that's why they despise. They don't want it to be fake. They want it to be real. They want you to be the real thing because of hypergamy, because of their imperative to find the best genetics. That's oh yeah, that's what I was going to say about the Chinese girl. She was saying, I think I went off track, but the Chinese girl, she was saying if she doesn't find, she can't get married by 30, she has to find a guy that has really good genetics. I shit you not. She has to find a really hot guy, and she didn't use the word genetics, but she said she has to find the hottest guy to get her pregnant. She says that's all she cares about. She says the baby has to be, she doesn't care as long as the baby's good looking. I swear to God, that's what she said. She didn't use the word genetics, but she said, if I don't find a guy to get married, I'm still going to have a child. I don't care. I'll raise it myself. But the guy has to be really hot. That's what she said. This is a 21-year-old girl. She's just spewing the truth out. She's not even thinking about it. She's like, but then maybe, like, I think Rolo talks about it. Like if I said, but this girl might have accepted it because she was, she's Asian, she's more based. But like if a Western girl might say the same thing. But if you say that back to them and they hear it, they'd be like, "Oh no, I didn't say it like that. It was different." Because when they find out that the truth and that what their imperative is, they freak out and they're like, "Oh, that's not what it's about. Oh no, I just want a nice guy. I just want a nice guy, a sweet guy, an angel." And it's like, shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. But yeah, it is what it is, guys. But yeah, I mean, I can't see these comments, so I guess I'll leave it there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this show. Hopefully you enjoyed my rants, my stories. If so, smash the like button. Even if you didn't enjoy it, smash the like button. Helps me out. But also check out the links in the description. If there's anyone of you still interested in upping your game, just do it. Get on my premium content. It's good stuff. It'll definitely, at the very least, it's going to, make you realize what's possible out there, or motivate you to learn game by seeing what I do out here in Tokyo. But yeah, guys, I will be back on Thursday night, 9 p.m. Central Time. So peace out, guys. Have a good one. Bye bye.